Good day. Welcome, everyone. Just going to give it a few moments, the usual. Allow YouTube notifications to do its thing. Let's see if we can get some music. Oh, it's a little dramatic. All right. That's going to have to do this morning. I'm going to see who comes in. We're going to light our candle. And read today's YiJing. Light some incense. Bring a little intention into this moment. I wanted to light a candle for you guys. Here we go. Pavel, good day. Let's see, does that work? I hope so. How did everyone sleep last night? It's another beautiful day, or depending upon where you are in the world, you're slowly winding down on your day. It's all good. The circle keeps repeating. Alrighty. So, first off, let's welcome everyone into this sacred space. Thank you so much for being here. Wanted to provide you with a little bit of morning inspiration, daily inspiration, depending upon, what time of day you're in. Hopefully you are not in mourning, but if you are in mourning, I wish you peace and great bliss, and for you to remember your foundation. And celestial blessings to you as well, Pavel. So let's take a nice deep centering breath to enter us into this sacred space. Got a little bit of dramatic piano music to carry us through this morning. And let's see. Okay, so first things first. First, I want to thank the 1,100 subscribers that we have here on the channel. So thank you for being here. Thank you for adding your energy. Would love it if, make some comments. If you have any questions for me, any suggestions, that would be absolutely wonderful. Today, our hexagram is going to be hexagram number 10. And let me get out the card so we can have an illustrated version of number 10. We are using the Tao Oracle deck, which, as you know, is simply the YiJing Illustrated, beautiful art by Ma Padma Devi. And of course, I decided at the last moment to do this YouTube live. Just dropped the little one off at the bus stop about a half hour ago. So today we are on hexagram number 10. And the title Ma Padma Devi has given hexagram number 10 is treading, conduct, self-awareness, proceed with caution and sensitivity, correct behavior, act responsibly. So we're just going to put that there for a moment. And yesterday I had mentioned that if you were looking for a concise and direct translation, literal direct translation of the YiJing, to check out Quan. He is a physicist. Let's see, I think he was a professor at MIT. So here's the image of him. I believe he has passed on, transition, but he was a professor at MIT, born in China. Kursun Hong was a professor of physics at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. In the YiJing, the oracle, he departs from his customary activities in theoretical physics in order to revisit the Chinese classics, which he has loved since a boy. See the beautiful scroll in the background, and he's got the Tai Chit too on one computer screen. And I remember when computers looked like this. So let's see. He starts off by giving the history of the YiJing, introduction. It's a very nice, concise. There's a legend of the YiJing. Let's see. And sort of breaks down fact of fiction, oracle bones of Shang, mystery of the dragon bones, Wang He, the ancestor. And this is one of the first oracles. This is a tortoise shell. So this live isn't going to be about this book. What I was thinking about doing was doing a series on the Bagua to kind of learn the YiJing along with you. But here you go. So today we're doing number 10, Welcome Critical Break, Treading. So we're doing number 10. And so basically you see what we have here. You have the traditional Chinese written, let's see, is that the bone script? No, that's not the bone script, but it's a traditional Chinese, the translation in Chinese. And no, I don't. I probably will try to look into that. Pavel asked if I have this on iTunes. So over here, so you see the hexagram is 6 trigrams. Okay, I didn't mean to say that. That was incorrect. It's 6 yao. Yao is line. And the top trigram or bagua is heaven. The bottom trigram or bagua is lake. And if you look over here, you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So each of these individual masculine or feminine lines, you know how we in the West hate to discuss binary gender. But the entire universe is made up of masculine or feminine energy, positive or negative energy. It just is what it is. Anyway, you look over here, each line, each individual yang line or yin line has an interpretation. And I'm beginning to think that the interpretation of each individual line has some type of relationship to the position of the line that is before it. So we will see. So, he has broke it down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is Pretty cool. So if you want just a straightforward, no hot air being blown up your skirt, get this one. And of course, have a couple of different translations. I am very partial to Benabel Wynn, so I definitely suggest her translation. Let me use one deck to prop up. There we go. How does that? Whoops. Wait a minute. Is that going to work? No, that's a little too steep. There we go. So we are looking at hexagram number 10 for today. And I'm going to read to you, share with you the interpretation, the YiJing or Book of Changes. And this is Brian Brown Walker. This is Lu, treading or conduct. Isn't that a beautiful, serene image? Kind of reminds you of Jesus walking on the water. Beautiful image. Actually, it sort of reminds me of Quan walking upon the stormy waters. Lasting progress is won through quiet self-discipline. This hexagram outlines the foundation of proper conduct within ourselves, with those whom we may have conflicts, and within the larger society. It serves to remind us that no genuine gains can be made unless we are rooted firmly in the principles of the sage. An image often associated with the hexagram is that of a treading on the tail of a tiger. The tiger may be some strong or malevolent force in your own personality. I don't know if I see a tiger in this image, not sure what's down at the bottom, but I think that the raging waters, the depths of these waters, is another wonderful representation of, tumultuous personality, or the conflict and everything that goes on inside of our heads. So this is also a good image. The tiger may be some strong or malevolent force in your own personality, or it may be a particularly volatile individual or situation which you have to deal. In either case, the advice of the YiJing is the same. One avoids the bite of a tiger by treading carefully. Also, you can look at it as one avoids drowning in the sea of emotional conflict by treading carefully. To tread carefully means that we remain steadfastly innocent and conscientious in our thoughts and actions. It reminds me years ago when I was dealing with a very tumultuous, dark night of the soul situation. And I was dealing with a particular individual in my life. And while I had to do what I need to, quote unquote, protect myself, go through the proper channels and everything, it was very important to me to be conscientious of my thoughts. I was working and trying very hard not to have any negative or hateful or spiteful thoughts for this person. Even though on the surface you could look and say, oh, well, this person deserves it and deserves whatever. There was a part of me, even through the pain that I was dealing with, that I understood that there for the grace of God go I. That I understood that we all have within us the ability to rage and to be destructive and exactly, Pavel, doing shadow work on oneself. We all have the ability to strike out at another, to do something that's detrimental. And, I looked at myself and I understood, well, I have the tools and the understanding and the internal restraint because of my spiritual practice that I was not there. And so, and I also understood that hurt people strike out at hurt people. I mean, how did I say that right? Hurt people strike out to hurt other people. And even though, no, I am not one who believes, oh, you should just, turn the other cheek. No, you got to stand up for yourself. You have to do what you need to protect yourself. But you can do that protection in a compassionate way. And so that's what this reading sort of reminds me of, to tread carefully. Means that we remain steadfastly innocent. And for me, that innocent meant that I had to guard my thoughts, that I couldn't, that it was not good for me to have very negative thoughts about this person, because I understood that those negative thoughts, they were not just thoughts, they were energy that would have repercussions. And I had to be careful because there were also other very innocent new lives that had to be looked out for, and that I, as the, the guardian, the adult, the one who had a more maturity than the innocent one that just came into the world, I had to do what I need to do to both, protect myself, but also to protect the energy that was surrounding. To tread carefully means that we remain steadfastly innocent and conscientious in our thoughts and actions. It is inevitable that people will display varying levels of spiritual understanding. It is not our duty to condemn or correct others, but simply to go on developing ourselves. Do not imagine that you can hasten your progress through aggressive action. Power that is sought and wielded pridefully has a way of evaporating when you need it most, thus exacerbating your difficulties. The only lasting influence is that which arises naturally from a course of steady self-development. In the end, it is our inner worth that determines the outer conditions of our lives. Those who resolve to persevere in humility, sincerity, and gentleness can tread anywhere, even on the tail of a tiger, and meet with success. Well, I will tell you, let me take a little sip of this warm lemon water. I will tell you through my own personal experience that this hexagram number 10 and its critical break says, interesting. I awoke thinking about using grace and caution when meeting with one like myself. And it's very true. I can, as I was saying, I can tell you from personal experience that it is very true. And it doesn't mean, when you're using caution and when you have humility, see, people misunderstand that word. They think humility means that you have low self-esteem, or that you think you're lower than another person, and that you kind of huddle over in the corner. For me, my understanding of humility is precisely that, of understanding who you are, where you stand, and how you got there, and not allowing yourself to have a haughty attitude because that person did X, Y, and Z, and they should be ashamed of themselves, and I would never do something like that, and I'm so much better because I didn't do that. The humility is understanding that perhaps you didn't do that particular action that has put this chain of events into place, but you have done other things to other people that other people did not necessarily appreciate. So therefore, you're not as haughty and innocent as you might think you are. There's someone else out there who might think you're an idiot. So understand that. When you're quick to judge another person an idiot, how many times in your life have you found yourself in a situation where someone else thought that you were the idiot? So to me, that's what humility means, just to recognize that another human being has struggles and issues just like you do. And their stuff might manifest a little bit differently from yours, but it's still stuff. So that is hexagram number 10, treading, which is all about your conduct. So there you go. All right, welcome everyone. Let's see, I think we have Christina, we have Critical Break, we have Pavel. Critical Break said, I had an interesting and productive meeting yesterday using exactly that approach. If more of us would, Pavel says, the fool is the twin of the wise. I think if more of us, and we attempt to, of course, we're not perfect. We all sin and fall short of the glory. And what does that mean? We all, at some point in time, miss the mark. What is the mark? That proper way we understand things should go. We don't always live up to it, but it's okay. We just have to keep going. We have to keep trying. We have to keep doing. We don't give up. We don't give up. All right. So we're going to check out Quan Yin, accessing the power of the divine feminine. All right. How about I go ahead and do number 10 today, only because I thought it would be cute to match numbers since Pavel talked about twin. So how about we have twin numbers, number 10. So we're going to do Quan Yin of the Sutras. Of course, Sutras is scriptures. Quan Yin of the Sutras. Keyword impermanence. So let's put that right there so we can see Quan Yin. Can you see? Okay, there you go. She is barefoot. Quan Yin of the Sutras. Keyword impermanence. In her right hand, greetings, Silly Jane. In her right hand, Quan Yin holds a scroll containing sacred sutra text. In her left hand is a stick topped with a skull, representing impermanence and transformation. The skull that Quan Yin carries is part of her mortal remains from the lifetime when she was the wife of Ma Lang. It is a reminder of the ephemeral nature of mundane life, that it was only her physical form that died. By following the spiritual practices symbolized by the sutra text and by practicing devotion, we may connect with eternity. The sacred sutras can positively affect our lives, affect our spirits over a period of many lives. According to a Chinese legend, during the Tang Dynasty, there was a beautiful young woman who wanted to marry a man who could recite by heart the Lotus Sutra, chapter about Avalokiteshvara. Several candidates mastered this test. The young woman then asked to hear the complete Lotus Sutra, and gave her suitors just 3 days to memorize it. A young man called Ma Lang fulfilled her wish and became her bridegroom. But during their wedding night, she fell sick and died. Sometime later, a monk appeared and asked to have her coffin opened. Inside, it were bones made of pure gold, a sign of a holy being. The contemplation: invoke Quan Yin of the sutras and ask her to provide you with deeper insights into the dual powers of impermanence and eternity. Ask her for support when you want to learn a prayer or another spiritual text by heart. So there you go, Quan Yin of the sutras. So let's check. Let me just check the chat room right quick. All right. Welcome, everyone. Okay, and last but not least, what do I want to share with you next? All right, what time is it? Let me just check the time. Okay. Okay, give me one moment. One moment. Okay, here we go. We talked about treading. And here's a beautiful image to leave you with. Before I do the Shaman Oracle, let's look at perseverance. Perseverance. Am I going to get these cards to stand up straight? There we go. Oh, all right. We're not doing so good. We're not doing so good this morning with the... all right. How's that going to work? Is that going to work? Oh, my goodness. Forgive me. Hold on one moment. So we're going to look at the wisdom, the wisdom keepers. We're going to look at the wisdom keepers, and then I'll do the mystic oracle. I'll do an abbreviated version of the wisdom keepers, but this is perseverance. Perseverance. Encouraging you as you're treading lightly, you are able to persevere. Hang in there. The ancestors got you. Okay, perseverance. The shadow is struggle. The city is honor. Over time, through perseverance, love, and trust, you will eventually attain victory and experience your own divinity. My older brother died when I was just a child. My mother went into a deep depression. As a boy of action, I fought with all of my might to pull her out of her grief. But her pain consumed her until she ended her own life. Her act of utter defeat was unthinkable in our land. I heard people talking, and it made me so angry, my whole body shook. Not knowing what to do with the overwhelming tension I felt, I started fighting wherever and whenever I could feel my impact. I loved the feeling of exerting my body, fighting and winning gave me a sense of purpose and power. But sometimes I took my aggression out on helpless animals and my younger siblings. I became addicted to the struggle and rarely knew when to stop. As I grew older, I became a powerful warrior with a gift for inspiring others to act. But my personal feelings often clouded my judgment. Once I led a whole army to war because someone from another village insulted my mother's honor. My people were injured, even killed, at my insistence. just before we launched another attack. A young boy from the warring village, the same age as my older brother when he died, ran up to me and flung his arms around my waist out of pure desperation. He pleaded with me to end the feud, crying, "Why are we fighting? I don't understand." As his question penetrated my deaf ears and hardened my hardened heart, I woke up. I started breathing again. I hadn't even realized just how tight my chest had been for years. He was right. I knew it. I knew in that moment that if my mother were alive, she would never want me to kill innocent people to defend her honor. There was already more than enough suffering and struggle in our village, and there I was, her son, fighting for everything that didn't matter. I wasn't honoring anyone. That's when I realized that deep down, I'd come to believe that if I had nothing to fight, I'd disappear, just like my mother did, just like my brother. Everything changed after that. I took that sweet boy under my wings, and now we only fight for causes that are worth fighting for. Those that are for the good of all people and the earth. My gift to you. I am here to call out the sacred warrior in you. It's time to persevere, to be the heroic underdog. Do not give up the struggle. Just be sure that you're fighting the right fight. Obstacles are a natural part of life. They are here to test your commitment, hone your abilities, increase your aliveness, and unleash your life purpose. It is time to embrace your defeats. Let them make you stronger, more resilient, and supple. You have the potential to turn a battle into a dance, to empower the people you love, to liberate themselves from victimization. When you fight for love, not fear, everyone wins. There is no need to overthink or worry about appearing foolish. Now go, find a cause you can pour your whole heart, body, and soul into. There you go. Perseverance. Perseverance. And you see right there, you have a person who suffered because of loss, of great loss. And they reacted, retaliated in their own way. But it was in that moment when that little boy walked up to him or her and said, "Why? Why are you doing this?" And it was in that moment that this warrior decided to check in with him or herself and to realize that to act out in fighting and struggle and strife was not honoring her mother's spirit. There had to be a better way. So that just reminds me of that grace thing that we were talking about earlier, and how we have to remember to tread, how we're treading, what our conduct is, even in the midst of a dark night of the soul. So there you go. And last but not least, hold on one moment. My best friend is calling me. Hey, can I call you back in about 15 minutes? Okay, bye-bye. All right, sorry about that. That was my best friend we've been best friends since freshman year in college, which was, oh my God, 30 years ago. And she tried calling me yesterday. We missed each other. I'm the artist, and she's the banker. We were like opposites, but we were inseparable. Okay, so I'm going to pull out. the Shaman Oracle cards. Pull one for us. And then bid us all adieu to go with God. All right, how is everyone? Let me check what's going on. Pavel says, holding it together, like Tamu holding the card of perseverance. Yes, adult life. Let me tell you. Oh, isn't there sometimes you wish you were like 12 again in the perfect little world? Christina says, I feel a connection with this card. Look, those eyes, wow, resonating within. All right, let me get this deck shuffled. These cards are massive. That was a sorry shuffle, right? Okay, let's try that again. Yeah. Good thing I have long arms. I can reach around the camera. There. That's better. Okay. Let me mix it up a bit. See what the Shaman Oracle has for us today. And let me just fix this light to make sure that I can see the imagery on the card. Wind. That's a beautiful image. Can you feel that wind blowing? You have, looks like a red-tailed hawk over to the left. Sort of like the full moon in the background. Leaves blowing. Like whispers from the spirit realm. That number 63, that's a 9. That's truth. So let's see what the Shaman Oracle has for us today. So the essence of this card. The symbol of the wind represents the element of air. It rules communication, thought, song, and inspired ideas. It also signifies change, with qualities both positive and negative. The wind blows from each of the 4 directions, and there are different qualities bestowed by each. South, carrying a new sense of trust, helping you gently begin to discard habits and parts of you that are no longer needed. West, calling you to more introspection, to a willingness to make final decisions, to let go of attachment and ego desires. North, moving to bring you wisdom and strength. East, carrying clarity of vision and purpose. Whichever way the wind is blowing for you, the message which the wind whispers or shouts is a challenge. It may take courage at first to turn and face the wind, but you will find exaltation in moving toward it and receiving its lessons. The invitation. When the spirit of the wind comes calling, it is a sign of change. The winds of change. Perhaps you need to change your mind about something. Perhaps an old way of doing things has become automatic, and now that you've gained greater clarity, you can make a new choice. Regardless of what the change is, you can expect to be understood and to have clear communication with others at this time. Ideas are solid, and the shift that is being called for is the highest good of all. So this Shaman Oracle today is encouraging you to not fear the winds of change, to allow those winds to blow over you and through you and underneath you, to remind you that when you release, good is able to come to you. When you pour out and allow your burdens and your stressors to just be carried gently away from you, you can be restored. Don't be afraid to face the wind, even when it's tumultuous and it's pushing and throwing you to and fro. Have trust and faith that you will be okay regardless of where you land. Tread lightly and be willing to face the wind, my friend. Christina says, I needed to hear this morning. Thank you, Miss Tunnel. You are welcome, dear. You are welcome. There you go. Alrighty. So I'm going to have to get going. I have a client in 45 minutes. And, yep, got to call my buddy back. I wish you peace. I wish you peace and great bliss. Let's take a moment to remember our ancestors and all those who have transitioned before us. I appreciate you as well. Thank you for being here, Silly Jane. Please remember to thumbs up this video. Please remember to share this video and support this channel in whatever way that you can. I appreciate you. I appreciate you allowing me to share my energy with you, and thank you for sharing your energy with me. Tread lightly and be willing to face the wind. Peace and great bliss.